All right, Green Red Elves. So we've played a couple different Elves decks on stream before. The last time we played, we had a just red splash. And we tried, what's the fireball card? Gosh, I'm blanking on the name. The one that can't be countered at this point. At any rate, today we're trying a different piece of top end, an End-Raze Forerunners. The neat thing about Forerunners is that Banefire, yeah, that's the one. I've seen people, you know what I was talking about. End-Raze Forerunners is a card that, even when it's not lethal, it can still hit the board and like make a big impact and close the game out over a couple of turns, which is sweet. Someone asked in chat if 22 lands is enough. I think 22 lands is plenty, because in addition to Llanowar Elves making mana, Druid of the Cowl makes mana, Incubation of the Druid makes mana, Marwyn the Nurturer makes mana. So we have a lot of mana sources in our deck, even if they aren't all explicitly lands. Growing Rights technically makes mana, so we are mostly mono green with a bunch of red cards to the sideboard that are useful in different situations. But we got a couple Rhythm of the Wilds, so that's good when you're kind of drawing through your deck. So let's hop on in and see how it goes, shall we? Raise the elves. Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes Magic such a great game from a deck building perspective, right? There's so much that goes into it. It's like, well, your lands go into it, and then your other cards that find you lands or make mana go into it, and then like, well, how many cantrips do you have? How consistently do you want to cast your spells? How soon do you want to cast your spells? So I was a little bit off of Growing Rights, but I think if I'm trying to get up to Forerunners, it's probably reasonable. Let's go ahead, Casey. Good morning. I mean, Marwyn's fine. We've played a bunch of elves on stream before. She's very, very reasonable when she lives, and when she doesn't live, like, she died. Boo-hoo, move on to the next one. Like, you traded one for one. Dale the Whale, thanks for the tier 2 for the 5th month in a row. Welcome back. Ooh, speaking of when she's good. Alright, hopefully the gates will not be ablaze next turn. This is our actual best start on the play here. Good solid turn 3. Ooh, they have Lava Coil. They must have Gates Ablaze, right? Like if they didn't have Gates Ablaze, they probably they'd probably kill Beast Whisperer. Thankfully, all of these are drawing cards. I think I just play them out because like I'm drawing more cards from them. Hey, you're dead on board. My board gone? Where are we at? Yeah, I respond to the deck submissions after my stream usually save a night. All right, so they should be dead here, right? If I do this. They block here and take 5. Yeah, they're dead. Great. Make them have it, chat. Some of the time, you make them have it, and they have the Gates Ablaze, and then you're very sad. But that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't mean it's incorrect to make them have it. I think I trade out Growing Rights for Domri against a deck that's gonna have stuff like them, which is sweeper effects. Do I want Cindervines in this matchup? I might want Cindervines, right? Like, their enchantment's pretty important to them. This also kills their silly, what's it called? Maybe I trim Rhythm. This seems okay. The basic mountains are in my deck, Nivik, because you can't play all these red cards in my sideboard without having at least 10 red sources. Honestly, even 10 red sources is a little bit on the light side. If you check out Frank Carson's Mana Math article, it'll give you some base numbers. Sage is better. Maybe I want it in addition to. I like that this card, like, dings them for damage when they're playing other things out, which is nice. No, I think this card's actually very good here, because there's going to be games where we flood out, and we just, like, put this into play and finish them off. Like, even if they clear the board. Like, this is an individually powerful card to match up where they're sweeping our board, which makes it good. You can find all of my articles on coolstuffing.com. Post every single week, usually on Wednesdays. See, it needs a red source, but it's like pretty reasonable otherwise. Yeah, Domri's fine. That's why we've got 2 in the sideboard. I'm gonna be conservative here against the Gates of Blaze and just like go wide with the things, or go tall with the things that I have instead of going wider into their potential sweeper. Hey, what's going on, the Rex? Hope you're having a good Thursday. I will be here. I'm planning to do another 10-hour minimum today. That's a 5/5. Yikes. It's a 6/6 actually. It's unfortunate. Alright, probably just dead to Gates of Blaze here. Gatebreaker Ram into a Blaze. I think we're going to be in a position to beat one or the other here, but both is going to be pretty unbeatable. Yeah, I'm going to move along to the next one. Going to close this out too quickly with the Ram. What's going on, Flampler? Good morning. Yep. I think we had the tools to beat one or the other there, and I don't think we had the tools to beat both, so just like give ourselves the best chance to win by playing to beat what we can and not playing around what we can't. The curve on this hand is actually like kind of reasonable. I get to go like turn 2 Growth Chamber, turn 3 like Fart the Growth Chamber Guardian, turn 4 like Beast Whisper, and then like play some elves afterwards. Seems fine. Yeah, I just talked about why I extended. It's not overextending, it's just extending. It's overextending if you're not supposed to do it. So I get that it feels bad to lose the game, but like, how do I beat the Gatebreaker Ram without going wide around it, right? So if you can't beat the Gatebreaker Ram by going tall, so I have to go wide to go around it, which means I lose to Gates of Blaze. Sometimes your cards just aren't going to line up well into what your opponent's doing, and you're going to lose. You don't have a chance to win every game of Magic that you play. It's just kind of how the game works, really. No, I'm not planning to log in. I'm not planning to log into Twitter at all. This is a post-board game, and playing the Crag on turn 1 just like doesn't matter. Is the answer to your question? It's just like actually irrelevant. Well, I know they don't have a Gates of Blaze. I guess I don't know, but I'm pretty confident they don't have a Gates of Blaze, because I feel like they would have played it last turn to kill both my things if they did, so... This is definitely a game where even if they have it, we have the tools to still be successful. Okay. So either drew it, or they were sandbagging it. Alright, don't do a second one, please. Clarion is also bad for us if they're playing that. Actually, they're dead even if they have the sweeper, right? End-Raze just kills them. Alright, sweet. Good start to the day. Raise it up. Do. It doesn't pump itself. Gosh, it really is a fixed crater hoof, huh? See? Sometimes you can beat Gates of Blaze. We beat spot removal into Gates of Blaze that game. It was quite excellent. Alright. He's Greater Hoof's apprentice. I studied under the hoof. Alright, would like to draw some tracks of land here. That being said, Steel Leaf into Steel Leaf is going to be a heck of a clock here on the play. We don't interact very profitably with the opponent's deck, but we do just like put big booms in and like smash them. If they leave 2 mana up here, I'm hoping to draw a land, so that way I can double spell next turn. Alright, they're playing a thing out. That means I can just jam the Steel Leaf Champion in. Perfect. I think I just jammed this here. Like, obviously I could go double 2, but I think getting this in while they don't have a counterspell up is pretty important. I don't know, it depends on how aggressive they are. Like, we don't really care about their card advantage angle of attack. So I'm leading on this because I want this one to get countered more than this one. So Wizard's Retort resolves. I play Elvish Clancaller. Thank you for taking the bait. Attack for 6. Gobble gobble. Sure. If they miss on a land drop again here, they're gonna be super dead. Say hello to my little friend. Hey, Jamansala, thank you for the 12-month resub. I appreciate that. I knight thee, defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Thanks for keeping me around. I wonder if they don't realize they can't block these. Yeah, like, couple of collisions, some lava coils. So this is a matchup where I want to trim my top end to be a little bit more interactive. I wonder if I just want this as like a 3/3 haste. Rex Sage is probably fine. Probably want to trim most of the End-Raze because they're just expensive in this matchup. This is more for the mid-range and control matchups to blow them out. I think Rex Sage to kill Curious Obsession seems fine. They also sometimes play, there's a 3-mana enchantment post board. It's like called Deep Freeze or something that makes something a 0/4. So it's good against that as well. So, while Rhythm of the Wild not being counterable is... The uncounterable text is like, okay, like, spending 3 mana to, like, not impact the board is not great. And, like, if my Rhythm of the Wild is gonna resolve, I'd much rather just resolve something else instead. So, like, if they have a counterspell, they're gonna counter Rhythm. And if they don't have a counterspell, I'd rather just resolve something more impactful than Rhythm. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. It's not particularly fast in terms of being linear, and it's not interactive, so I think it like doesn't check either box I'm looking to check here. Like this hand's not super linear, but it's got the tools that we need to interact with the opponent here. We played Grand Warlord Rada in a previous build of this archetype. You can find the archive on YouTube and my website, and I just wasn't very impressed with it. That's real annoying. Happy birthday, Jack. Hope you're having a good one. What do you think if Bant mid-range in this meta with Climb, it can go wider than Sultai? So we've actually played a bunch of different Climb decks on stream, and I really just haven't been impressed with, I really haven't been impressed with Bant. I really like straight blue-green Climb. And Teamer Climb's been okay as well. Small red splash for like sideboard cards mostly. Land. Ding ding. Ding ding ding. So now this is a free attack for me because they can't eat my thing. And if they block, I could threaten the Lava Coil and kill this. So obviously they could block and nothing can happen. But it's a free attack for me into a decision for them. And they could decide to give me 2 points of damage there. So I might as well attack. So the Teamer deck doesn't play Hellkite because playing a red card is kind of tough. But it does play... I have been playing Worm in it. No, there's a card called Hadana's Climb. That's what I'm referring to when I talk about a Climb deck. I mean, if they don't have cards that allow them to be reactive, there's really not a reason to hold up anything, right? Like, if you're... There's not value in bluffing if your opponent just, like, has to jam, right? I'm like, a lot of the time, the mono blue deck has put its opponent in a position where the opponent has to do something. These Surge Mares have been incredibly annoying. And I cannot block this 2-3 because it cannot be blocked by green creatures. Alright, off to the races. So they'll block 1. Oh, huh. So this is kind of like a game of cat and mouse here, because, like, if I adapt the one they didn't block, then they'll make this a 2-3 and eat my 2-2, which is awkward. Oh, there's a deck list on your screen. Raze Elves refers to End-Raze Forerunners, specifically. Surge Mare can block and trade with Steel Leaf if they wanted to. It requires them to pay 4 mana to do so, though. If they're trading with that, I'm kind of okay with that, I think. So long as they don't draw, like, Sleep here, we should be okay. Exclusion Mage might also be bad for us. One crabby friend, please. Sure. Captive audience. Nice. They're targeting this. So I'm going to make this a 4-4 in response. So that way it's still a 4-4 after the trigger happens. They are going to be able to make this a 5-5 when they want. They have 3 instant sorceries in there. Now, I don't really want a Lava Coil because they'll just sacrifice the Siren Storm Tamer. Am I dead? I don't think so, right? I might beat it over 2 turns, though. Yeah, they fart this, they hit me for 6 in the air. I think we're going to be a little bit short here. Colossus would be lethal. Hey, Extreme Gamer, thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. Yeah, we're just dead in the air to the Pteramander. Close game. I wonder if Pteramander's more popular, if I want more collision, less lava coil. The pump spell part of collision is like really, really good. There are a few green-red decks today. We do have a lot of stomping grounds coming up. Like red-black. It's basically Jund Day, right? We've got green-red, red-black, green-red, red-black, and then Jund Elves. Yeah, and green-red monsters. There's one Sultai deck in the middle. Hey, Blair Phoenix, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. This hand has a lot of lands in it and doesn't have red mana, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it back. Seems like not super exciting, but definitely fine. Bottom a second copy of that. Yeah, the horse is easily won in that game, right? Like, obviously their flying creature in the air eventually closed it out, but like the horses just like made us pump the brakes in a massive way. Well, technically, if you deck yourself while killing your opponent with an expansion explosion, the game's a draw. But if that's going to happen, you should just target your opponent with the draw part of it. You should never deck yourself with expansion explosion if you understand how the card works. The draw effect is also target player. Nope, that's how magic works, the guy. If you think I'm incorrect, please link the relevant part of the rules. If they have a trickster here, they could deny me getting another Growth Chamber Guardian. No, you lose the game as soon as you go to draw a card, but can't. Interesting. They definitely should have just trickstered in response to me adapting, so that way I didn't get to find a thing. I don't think that's the case. Can you please cite a source in the rulebook, the guy? If you assert yourself again without linking the relevant rules text, I'm going to time you out. Yeah, you lose the game. They both lose the game as soon as state-based actions are checked. It is a draw. I think we're dead. I think the fact that we just, like, didn't find a... Yep. Rough beat. Needed some more lands. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Black or white spells. Are we going to complete black and white spells today? Yeah, we have Jund and Sultai, so we'll keep the 750 gold quest. Yeah, the crab's an elf and not a merfolk. But again, the instance that we're discussing here about who wins and loses the game and whether or not it's a draw should never happen. Because if that were to happen, you should just be targeting your opponent with the draw part of the spell so they lose the game. More gates. Yeah, you can cycle quests once per day. So I think I curved this into this. And then with Vanquisher's Banner, we might actually end up in a position to beat a couple of things here. I think it will harm Modern. No, I think as long as people are interested in playing Modern, people are going to continue to play Modern. I think Modern's a format new players don't really get into on average most of the time anyways. I think the people who play Modern just because they like non-rotating formats but don't actually like the gameplay that it generates are gonna play the new format instead. So I think I'm just gonna riot this to have a 1/1 counter on it so it makes more mana. And then hopefully we hit something relevant next turn. When Standard rotates in the fall, there's going to be a new non-rotating format introduced to support cards that have rotated out that people will still have on Magic Arena. And I suspect that if Wizards of the Coast is smart, they will also be supporting that format at in paper play as well. Because people who are playing it on Arena will want to play it in paper also. Alright, well if we manage to draw creatures next turn, we're going to be in a good spot. If we don't manage to draw creatures, we're about to have a real bad time. Yeah, I agree. I think everybody who enjoys playing fair Magic and also enjoys non-rotating formats is gonna like drop Modern like quicker than anyone can imagine. Nobody reasonable is playing who likes fair Magic is playing Modern. As someone who both enjoys non-rotating formats and likes fair Magic, like super excited to jump onto the new thing. I didn't play the rhythm there because I'm kind of like checked out of this game because we drew a bunch of lands and are about to die. Thanks for the support, Mars. It's honestly been a really eye-opening experience from how many other people in my industry think you just shouldn't talk about things and everything should be hush-hush and behind closed doors, right? Like, the number of people who like, and the number of people, and it's not even the number of people who tweeted at me that I shouldn't have talked about it, but go and look at those tweets and look at all the people who are in the Magic industry who liked those tweets, and you will see that most people feel like everything should be done behind closed doors and you shouldn't, this should all be taboo to talk about. That was the most eye-opening thing for me out of the whole thing. Yes, it is, you know. What did I do last time? I brought in Domri. I don't think I brought anything else in. Did I bring in Cindervines? What did I cut? I don't really want to cut anything. I guess Steel Leaf Champion's a little slow. It's individually powerful though, which is nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna swap Domri for maybe Cinder Rhythm's better. Cinder Vines is better than Rhythm. Yeah, I'd buy that. Yes, Tolarian did his best to like say, hey, Jeff like provided transparency without like giving away information or misquoting people, which I felt I was super fair about the whole thing, but other people in the industry think that you're just like not supposed to talk about it apparently, because apparently talking about it gets you further blacklisted, but. You know, no need to wear a raincoat when you're already wet. Exactly. It's like, eh. Sometimes lands suck. Hey, Green Hawk, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed. Yeah, I agree, Gara. And again, like, one of the things that you can get from Twitter is not just the people that are saying things, but like, click on those tweets. Those tweets had hundreds of likes. And look at the other people in the industry that put their support behind the message that Mark and Cedric were sending to me, that you shouldn't be talking about this. And like that kind of thing, that kind of talking about that kind of stuff, that specifically is what Wizard of the Coast doesn't want to work with me for, because I'm transparent in my interactions like that. That's all supposed to be hush hush, apparently. Dan Grimm, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Talking about sponsorships and how my job works and giving transparent feedback when I don't like something. Those are the types of things that they don't like in the public sphere. From my understanding. Which is really funny. I really feel like they had an easy cop-out, and they could have just been like, Jeff, you talk about politics on stream, and we can't be associated with someone who's openly political. Like, that would have been super easy, right? Like, just like, Jeff, even if we agree with you, we can't be associated with someone who's publicly a dirty liberal. And it's just like, that I would have been like, yeah, I totally get it. I'm not going to stop doing that, but I understand as a company you can't be associated with that. But, like... it's like, oh, all right, you know. I mean, I guess in reality, I appreciate that they were honest with me, right? Like, yeah, I agree, and that's why I think they couldn't do that, because like politically speaking, like WotC is like the Gillette of game companies, right? Like they're pretty woke, right? They're pretty left leaning with the decisions that they've made as far as the political spectrum goes. Oh, sweet. So not mono blue. My head just went right to mono blue, but apparently we were playing against Drakes. I think I just go Nurture into Llanowar Elves here. Yeah, exactly, Dumbledore. Yeah, TCC likes my stuff. Like, I've been on Talarian's like podcasts and stuff before, right? Like I've guessed on his show. Like he and I get along. Hey, what's going on, OKC Thunder? I appreciate that. Thanks for the 2 months and welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Like, and again, TCC's like, he's just huge, right? Like, Watsy can't ignore him. When am I next appearing on a video with him? I actually need to talk to him about it. It was funny. When this whole thing happened, he's like, we need to get you back on. We need to get you back on a video. And I was like, yep, let's make sure we do that at some point. Hey, Jax, thanks for the tier 1 sub there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed. All right, sweet. This is kind of like the setup, right? We get to like jam our End-Raze down their throat and just trample on in. My rights are all grown up, chat, and we about to raise some hell. Raise it up. This is about to be our first huff. Someone conceded right before we could huff them earlier. I was really disappointed. $420, raise it. That's excellent. I'm not expecting counterspells out of them game 1. So like post board, they might have something like Disdainful Stroke, but game 1, I doubt they're gonna have a counterspell. Oh, adapt the elf at end of turn. Good call. Good call. I definitely was not thinking about that. Good suggestion. We must adapt. We must adapt to the future. Please don't concede before I see the animation. 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 I need to know what the pigs look like. Whoa, are you kidding me? Man, I'm gonna have End-Raze be one of the pallbearers at my funeral just so it can let me down one more time. I am incredibly sad right now. That's not okay. They aren't mythic, no animation. I feel like it should be like mythic or like big giant things should still get an okay one. That was incredibly disappointing. My pig didn't floop, chat. I was expecting my pig to floop, and there was no flooping to be had. Whirly Boy has a great animation. Yeah, it's a good example. All the bombs should have animations, right? I'm a Timmy here. I am channeling my inner Timmy, and if Timmy deserves an animation, okay? Timmy deserves an animation. All right, I think this is not a Rhythm of the Wild matchup, probably. Hey, Greenhawk, thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. Love your work, thank you for the support. Greenhawk, you should drop me a message after you take a look at the deck queue and let me know if there's something in there you'd like to see a little bit sooner. I always like to encourage the people that keep me employed to kind of dictate what we do here. Niv has an animation. Yeah. I think I want to do this. I think this match is probably going to be too fast on average for Vanquisher's banner to be relevant. And I still have Beast Whisperer to generate a little bit. I'm going to trim the last Forerunner because I think sometimes they're going to get under him. But on average, I think this is fine. Let's not make jokes about things like that, Seth. Please and thank you. Alright, sweet. That seems good. We do need to be conscious of the fact that they often have Fiery Cannonade post board, which is a card sometimes we can play around and sometimes we can't. Cut the End-Raze Forerunners. There's no pig trampling. I was expecting like pigs to run across my screen or something. At least a little pig to pop up out of the card. My poor little Llanowar Elves, they never stood a chance. not that big of a deal. If they don't kill this, I get to curve this into this, which is fine. And if they do kill this, I still have a play next turn. So we're just gonna like curve out pretty nicely here. Hey, Yaku. Nope, no problem if I send that through. Rude. Rude. Ding, ding, ding. I'm just gonna go ahead and play this now. Try and get it out of the way. Also, holding this till after I play Beast Whisperer is reasonable, because then it'll draw a card. Thanks, Land Grab. Thanks for the sub and keeping me around here. Y'all are the ones that keep me here. All right, do you have a lava coil? Do. This might be a game where we just like make 8 land drops and cast a Forerunner as a 7/7. Certainly looks like we're heading in that general direction. Yep. The 6th land isn't terrible either, because it does mean if they don't have a removal spell for this, that we're gonna get to just start activating Clancallers. That's pretty scary. That's a big threat that draws them another card. Huh. I think it's better to start doing this than activating Clancaller. Not certain if this is a repeat. Well, at either rate, Swingy, thanks for the 10 months. So I'm doing this during their upkeep, because this way if they have an instant speed burn spell like a lightning strike, they have to use the mana on their turn. And this also does it before they have a chance to draw it for the turn. Yeah, this deck draws a surprising number of cards for like a random aggro deck, right? Honestly, just drawing lands for the next 2 turns would be pretty good for us. So we get to like curve Growth Chambers into an End-Raze Forerunner, which would be just A+. We're really hoping they don't draw another threat here. Yikes. Hey, thanks for the ad, Biddies Yachidi. I'm gonna be honest and say I don't know what that card does. Alright, well, no second threat's good. We really want to just hit a land this turn. Nurturer. Oh, Nurturer. That'll do, pig. That'll do. If she survives, we get to raise the roof next turn. No, I don't think we have enough legendaries to make that card play. I think it's probably worse than like the other sources of card advantage that we have. Whenever a creature with 1 attack, it deals 1 damage to a player or planeswalking. I don't know if that's good enough. Nah, I'm just not really into limited. Right, I don't know if this is lethal, but that's not my job to figure out, so don't have a shock. All right. Is flooping the pig good enough? I don't think flooping the pig is enough here, right? And if I lava coil the crackling drake, I'm going to die to the Pteramander. So this is 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And they have enough blockers, so they are not dead here. Wow, rude. Wow, really surprised they didn't kill the Nurturer. Really surprised they didn't kill the Nurturer. So the Hatchling in their sideboard is actually exactly 4 matchups like this one that we're playing right now, which is the Hatchling comes in for them when they're interested in having extra blockers. So like the Hatchling will like chump block a creature inside of combat and then like make a creature that can trade up later or like provide good defense. Okay. The Drake's decks board them in against these aggressive decks, aggressive creature decks specifically. Good. Not amazing, but fine. Removal spell sounds great. The opponent's deck isn't always super threat dense. Simic's an interesting idea. Huh. I kind of like that idea. Let's try that. Let's try that after this. You get to play Incubation Incongruity too, which that card is just like A+ awesome. Like, climbs like a reasonable card. Someone in chat had asked about, land please. Land please. Someone in chat had asked about, bringing in Cindervines to this matchup, and I don't think Cindervines is good enough against just spells. I think they need to have some number of enchantments for it to also be good. Also, because my opponent has so many large creatures, on average, I think Cindervines is not going to be good enough to race, and I'd rather just have more creatures. Hey, Mertz, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Frilled Mystics and Elf? That's so absurd. That's all right. Let's try Simic Elves. That sounds awesome. I don't know if you can cast Frilled Mystic consistently. What's the other one called? Yeah, some Crisis is probably fine. So it says 14 blue. 14 blue plus Incubation Druid might be fine. Elf, Lizard, Wizard. Yeah. Yeah. Someone said Crushing Canopy. It's a good idea. I mean, we have Crisis as an additional way to generate card advantage, so I think that's fine. This looks sweet. Need a couple more sideboard cards. I think Sleep's too hard to cast. I don't want to put blue spells in my sideboard. Alright. That sounds good. Let's give this a go. Someone said, you have yet to tell us how this improves the previous build of Elves. Well, how does it make it worse? I don't know. We're just trying things, chat. Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. This is a different deck. The other deck's probably fine, but this one's looking at, I get like that, like it has some of the same core idea going on, but we're trying something that's a little bit different. Someone said the idea of climb with the creatures that help you ramp is really good, which I agree, that's very true. I mean, like, Krasis is something that lets you work with a lot of your mana. Honestly, Krasis might not even be very good in here, just because Krasis might just be worse than playing more End-Raze Forerunners. I might want to go 2-3 in the other direction, because, like, if we have a lot of mana, that probably means we have a lot of Elves, in which case I'd prefer to just have End-Raze to end the game. Turn 2 Steel Leaf on the play is really good. Especially with Beast Whisperer to follow it up, because, like, now they need to kill this so they don't die, but, like, this card's also going to bury them in cards. Graces does make Climb marginally better, that's true. Well, there's a ton of Elves in this deck. Man, Clancaller's fine, it's just an Anthem effect. They're still really far off of Finality. Free block. So, I'm going to play this out first, because if I miss on a land, I was going to play... Oh, you know, I should lead on Clancaller there, probably. So, people are talking about Marwyn. I elected to play more Steel Leaf Champion rather than her, because I wanted draws like this, right? Where we could just be aggressive and have climb work. We're actually going to play Jundelves later today, so we're going to get a good bit of variety going on. So they have to kill Steel Leaf Champion and not Beast Whisperer, because Steel Leafs have them dead on board, because they can't block because this didn't get counters. Peace, Mad. All right, we did elf things. We did elf things. I like that climb helps us jump up and beat a stalled board. Seems pretty good. I didn't actually count, okay? I'm gonna be honest. People asking why we didn't go for lethal. I just wanted to draw some cards, okay? I just wanted to draw some cards. All roads were heading in the direction of Rome. Our opponent conceded. It's fine. Honestly, I'm not even sure that Krasis is good in this deck. I'm just going to change it to Raise Elves. Yeah. Put in a couple of Disdainful Strokes for their bigger plays. Having a way to counter Finality is pretty good too. What's going on, Night Bugly? I think Frilled Mystic's gonna be too obvious when we hold it up here. It's really impressive how play design has managed to get there to be a playable blue-green deck in this format. Like, in previous standard formats, straight blue-green was almost never playable. And it's really awesome that it is here. I think I have to mulligan this just because it has both basic islands and Seal Leaf Champion in it. So, like, this hand needs to draw spells, but it also needs to draw more lands. Perfect. I'm actually going to keep that there because keeping Beast Whisperer in play means we probably win the game. And I love this card is probably goes a long way towards why these colors are just playable, right? Like, this card's super powerful. Yeah, a couple of graces in the sideboard for like when you're going long probably isn't unreasonable, but I think I'm gonna pull the ones out of the main deck that I put in there here in a second. Ooh, that's a good one. Good clean live in. Yeah, I'm gonna put a couple of her back in. I'm gonna put a third raise back in, and I'm gonna cut these graces. Deal. That seems like an excellent trade for me. 2-drop, please. Perfect. The 2-drop that finds more 2-drops. This card is so good with Hadana's Climb. It's so good. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little friends now. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little friends now. Yeah, relevant magic-related links are allowed in chat. This interaction is very good. The fact that Hadana's Climb lets us get the cards we care about out of finality range as well is also very, very good. So, like, this Beast Whisperer is 1 counter away from not being finalityable. Is that a word? Finalityable? We're patenting that one. Finalityable. Sure, you got a Crisis. Did they tap their lands wrong? Why did they not make it for 4? Why did they not do it for 4? So, they can just play another one? I'm gonna go ahead and stack this one up so that way we can get it out of finality range like I was talking about. This is a sweeper, right? This is an attack before a finality. And they're hoping I block with my 4/5 so it dies. The final countdown. We are so very, very good. Do. Fantastic. And, like, even if they have another finality, we're kind of in a good spot here, right? We have an answer to their... God, this build seems really sweet. I love blue-green decks. I am... As a filthy casual, I have to say, blue-green, definitely my favorite color combination in Magic. I agree. I think the Graces is actually, the Crass-Eye Graces aren't very good in our deck. Yeah, I think you're right, and I should have flipped the Climb so I could End-Raze the following turn. Because I can't End-Raze, right? Because I only have, if I would have flipped this, I could have End-Razed. So fun fact, the Growth Chamber Guardians trigger even when they already have a counter on them. So this climb's actually going to put another counter on this one because I want it to not die to finality, ideally. Oh, I guess it still dies because these will die. Whatever. Make my thing a little bigger. I'm going to attack with this because if they want to trade for their Krasis, I'm okay with that. Incongruity and climb would have been lethal. Oh, you're right. So I could have gone Incongruity, exile this, climb, flip here, and then lift off. It's a good catch. I think they're still dead to that this turn, but it's fine. Everything's fine. We get to pig them. We get to pig them now, chat. If we would have taken the good players line, I wouldn't get to use End-Raze Forerunners. Alright, let's make this one so it doesn't die to the finality. I don't know, they're probably dead, right? I should attack with everything because they're gonna finality me. I don't know, figure it out. We might actually lose this game. So they're at, we can count. They're at 24. They have 12, 17, 20. They have 22 points of defense. So they're at 48. And I'm attacking for 15, 22, 30, 38, 44. I believe they're alive. I believe they are not dead. I believe they survive at 2. Hey, Celeris, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I believe this is them surviving at 2. Look at that! We counted correctly. We counted successfully, chat. They're still very dead, I agree. We have 3 things, including my piggies, that survived the finality. I would like the record to reflect that my line was way sweeter than winning a turn sooner. Let the record show. What's better than a pig? How about a flying pig? Anything can happen today, chat. Pigs are flying. Anything can happen. The pigs are flying. Flooped. Floop it. I flooped the pig. That, I think when people ask what flooping the pig refers to, I believe that we have quite literally flooped the pig there. All right, so I think Krasis is actually kind of too cute. Let's get a third. Maybe I don't even need 3 of these. We have Incubation Incongruity to like find this, which is sweet. Couple of nurturers probably find. I think 2 of these might be enough. Extra druid of the Cowl to ramp up. We flampled actually. I just needed something that cut, and I needed a trim. Do I want a 4th climb? Maybe just 4 climb is fine. I got 30 creatures right now. How important are rare dual lands when deck building? Meaning, are the 3-color non-gates decks even worth it? Not really. So you're going to lose a lot of percentage points against in your aggressive matchups if you don't have the better dual lands. So I definitely recommend sticking to mono or single color decks until you build up your rare dual lands. He's either a 4th climb or another Druid of the Cowl. I'd probably want another Druid of the Cowl. Yeah, I think that's true. You probably draw enough cards that 3 is enough. We should put another Druid of the Cowl in. Having a mana creature on turn 1 or 2 is pretty important. I think main deck Mystic Snake is a little too telegraphed. Like, this deck's often tapping out, so like, when you don't tap out and have cards in your hand, it's like, oh, they have a thing. Sure. Well, you'll probably only have to chase 20 duels immediately in the fall, right? Because they usually print the duels in cycles. Yeah, I agree. If we wanted to fit Thorn Lieutenant in, it would have to be like over some of the ramp. The rest of the cards are pretty important. Read. I really hope we get Temples back. That would be my preferred land. Shocks and Temples would be a fun mix. Opponent kept a little bit of a loose end. What do Temples do? Temples always come into play tapped, but they scry 1 when they come into play. And in my opinion, they are the perfect standard powered dual lands because they add consistency to your deck, which is great. So this means I draw less cards this turn, but I think I just want to go Incubation into Nurturer here. Who likes pirates. Honestly, if you haven't tried the white aggro deck splashing blue, that's a really reasonable deck as well. It's a little bit more on the aggressive side of aggro control, but it's still very powerful. Well, Surveil's not an evergreen keyword, and it's pretty specific to Dimir, so I don't think that'll ever happen. Alright, so we've got Crushing Canopies and Vivian Reeds for shooting their things out of the sky. This is a matchup where Nurture is probably pretty bad, because they have a lot of really cheap spot removal, and like losing my 3-drop to their spot removal does not sound stellar. Elvish Clancaller for that same reason. Just like dies in a fire a lot of the time. It's like medium-ish impact. I think that's fine. I think I want to keep Climb for its synergy with Growth Chamber and Incubation Druid. Also, when it flips, I can block their flying stuff. I don't think this is a counterspell matchup. I know they sometimes have sweepers, but a lot of the time we're going to be tapping out. And I think it's more important they're able to interact with their things, their creatures and their spells. The red was okay. Someone just like had the suggestion of Climb being synergistic with all of our adapt creatures, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense and I want to try it. Incubation Incongruity is also just like an incredibly powerful card that I've been very happy with. Seems great. Kill it with fire. Rude. I didn't mean actually kill it. I meant like think about it, but then don't actually. No, a deck like this doesn't really have the ability to trigger Pelt Collector consistently, so it tends to leave a lot to be desired in my experience playing decks like this. Rude. Alright, well, if they don't have a Spell Pierce or a Dive Down, I do get to play Vivian and shoot this, which is good for me. And there's a chance, honestly, that they board those style of cards out against our creature deck. So if they don't have a shock here, Vivian's probably going to be able to sit here and generate a bunch of card advantage, which is great. This card is so good. Rude. Rude. I wanted more than a 2-for-1 opponent. I wanted to do better than a 2-for-1. We are 1 land off of casting this. God bless. Which puts us in a good spot. Anytime you're like looking at your hand and going, well, if I draw a land, my hand is good, and if I draw a spell, my hand is good. You're just like, all right, excellent. And we're gonna draw a spell, and then we're gonna draw a land the following turn. Ooh, that's quite the spell, chat. Quite the spell. Wow, do you have Disdainful Stroke in your deck against me? He's gonna be very surprised if they brought that in against us.
See if you're worth. You can't stop nature.
Hey, Mike Honcho, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you could chip those Bezo bucks to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them my way this month. I'm about to get dispersal. I think I'm about to get dispersal. Nope.
Feel the wrath of Scar.
Definitely just down ticking there. Especially with drawing another threat, like waiting a turn to play the End-Raze seems fine. Well, I appreciate that. Those Twitch Prime bucks, they pay my bills and keep my YouTube content coming. They shocked probably so they could draw a blue card and like still be able to play it, I would assume. All right, 5 shots to land to play this End-Raze Forerunners. Maybe I'm just supposed to kill the Drake here, actually, since I drew the land naturally. I'm probably supposed to. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. Beep beep. Rum rum. Driving in my pig. Beep beep. They are obligated to block, or they are dead. Dunk, dunk. I wasn't sure if End-Raze was going to be win more in this archetype, but it seems genuinely good, right? It's been winning us games we're just like, we've been like, kind of medium. It closes the door very quickly. Thing just tramples on its own, right? Yep. Wow! Wow! Get bacon bolted.
I've seen things.
They used bacon bolt on my pig, chat. It's so flavorful. They used bacon bolt on my pig. Opponent. Oh, savor the flavor, chat. Savor the flavor. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week, and I wouldn't be here day in and day out without the support of my wonderful subscribers, so I'd like to give a shout out to them. They are quite literally the folks that keep me employed. Past my subscribers, I'd also like to mention some of my wonderful sponsors here. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that close, clean shave using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/Shave. You can save $5 on your brand new starter kit with them. Remember, just because you like playing the degenerate decks doesn't mean you need to look like it. Hurly Burly Studio does professional Magic the Gathering altars. They do border extensions like my wonderful basic lands here, as well as full art replacements. If you head on over to hurlyburlystudio.com, you can find a fantastic portfolio of all of her work there, and you can use code Jeff10 to save 10% on any purchases that you make. Cardsphere.com will love to help you turn your cards into other cards directly with other players. There's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off the top. And of course, inkedgaming.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork that they have on their website. So I played like 3 matches with red-green elves with End-Raze Forerunner. Do you think I should split these up into 2 videos? Or should I just put them all in one video and just call it End-Raze Elves? Should probably split it up on the YouTubes. One video? Yeah, I could just put both deck lists in the video description probably. One's probably good. I do post a lot of videos on YouTube, so one's probably fine. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Wait, does Unclaimed Territory let this make any color of mana? That's how this works, right? Unclaimed Territory. That's awesome. That's really sweet. That's fantastic. Yay, synergy! Yay, synergy! And Climb has synergy with the Druid because it's going to put a counter on her and then let her make 3 mana the following turn. Is in fact how that works. God bless. No, chat. The climb requires blue mana. Forest, Unclaimed Territory. Do not cast Hadana's Climb. Forest, Unclaimed Territory. Do not cast Hadana's Climb. Alright, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm actually going to climb onto Incubation Druid here, because they only have 2 gates in play right now, which means if they Gates Ablaze next turn, it's only doing 3. So now Gates Ablaze only kills the Nurturer, whereas if I put the Hadana's Climb counter on here, Gates Ablaze would kill my Druid and my Nurturer. So I'm kind of minimizing or mitigating my risk from their ramps, from their sweeper. Sultai Jelly Thief might be my favorite deck name of all time. It's definitely up there. We have a Lava Coil here. All right, so this is gonna target this, and I'm gonna get another one, and then the new one I can play off these 2 lands plus pop it, and then go get another one, and then this will be a 4/4, so I can play this shock land plus do this to pop that one as well. I am a little bit soft to Gates Ablaze with this line, but I should keep the Nurturer around, which means that I'll have the Nurturer and I'll have Climb ready to flip, so I'll still be able to deal a lot of damage. So I do this, cranks this up to a 4/4. Then I activate it with this. If they have Anticipate, sure. I think I play into a Blaze because it gets my Nurturer out of a Blaze range here. Like, my Nurturer is going to be a 5/5 when this is said and done. Which, like, a 5/5 that's turning into a 6/6 off my Climb sounds great, right? Because they need Gates Ablaze plus, they need Gates Ablaze plus a Growth Spiral because they only have 3 gates in play right now. This is not a gate. So they need Growth Spiral into 2 gates plus Gates Ablaze to kill my Nurturer. Yeah, so, like, they can Blaze and kill everything except the Nurturer here. But then, like, the Nurturer is going to crack them for 12 next turn. Yeah, this is not a gate. So they have 4 gates and then 2 non-gates here. Yeah, super dead. Sweet. Man, Nugate is so flavorful against the gate decks. I can't get over it. Can't even stand how flavorful Nugate is in this matchup. Sure, yeah, if they had Growth Spiral, Double Gate, Gates Ablaze, we lose our board. But you shouldn't play around things you can't beat. You should think about some things and be conscious of, like, what's gonna get you, but at the end of the day, there's things you can beat and there's things you can't. I think Clancaller's actually the cut against the sweeper deck. Probably doesn't seem unreasonable. I definitely want the counter spells. I think I want the Vivian as well. Probably cut a couple of Incubation Incongruity, because they don't have a ton of creatures we need to exile. I wonder if I want Crushing Canopy in my deck. I feel like, so the problem here is I don't want to overboard. I need to, like, keep my core game plan the same, right? Like, I need to keep my proactiveness here to a degree. So, like, there's a lot of cards that seem okay here, but, like, what are they better or worse than? Is Crushing Canopy better than Vivian Reed, for instance, because it's a little bit more efficient? I guess Disdainful Stroke's not fantastic in this matchup, huh? It doesn't counter Gates Ablaze. I think I like that. And maybe this matchup is a reason to have 2 negates and only 1 Disdainful Stroke on my board, so I can board in 4 counter spells. I am shuffling real cards in my hand. I have my wonderful Hurly-Burly Altars, protected by none other than my BCW Elite Guard 2 sleeves. Hashtag Secret Chills. Yeah, the suggestion from Jen actually to add blue cards instead of the red splash, and the blue splash seems real good. Simic's a real guild, chat. We have real decks. Yay, Simic. Are we killing my Incubation Druid? Why are we... Oh, you just have another Growth Spiral? So... I think I just go Steel Leaf Champion, tap land here, just like, say, pace myself a little bit against a possible sweeper. No reason to go, like, super wide here. I get to, like, play Vivian Reed next turn, just, like, gets it up a little bit. Honestly, I might update the Elves list on my website to be this list after this. It seems very reasonable. So I have an entire deck here when I feel like bridge shuffling, or riffle shuffling, and it's technically a Legacy Legal deck. It's a red-green madness deck from my childhood. Yeah, looks like Nexus of Gates, which Nexus of Gates means I probably want my Crushing Canopy in for the next game, just because they have more enchantments. That one, kill it with fire, or an arrow, you know, depending on who you ask. Had a childhood? I did, in fact. It involved a lot of Magic the Gathering cards, because my father didn't like video games. That's why I play video games as an adult, because I didn't have many of them as a child. Sure, you take your 2-for-1. I brought in Reclamation Sage for this game.
Come to me.
Believe it or not, I was kind of a wise ass as a child. And we actually got to a point where, like, my father hated video games so much that when he would complain about them, we'd look him in the eyes and, like, put our hand out and go, "Can we have money for drugs?" And he'd just shake his head and walk away. It's like, all right, leave us to our video games, thank you. Look, like, all things considered, I was a very tame child growing up. Like, we were very good by all modern standards. We didn't drink, we didn't smoke. Like, we were very tame. This is a deal 3 here, I think. Yeah, explosion.
Let's do this again.
Did I just attack for 7 here? I totally do, right? Just like beep beep. Rawr. What's changed? I wasn't implying that I've changed now. I was implying that I've always been like this. Driving in my big beep beep. All right. So I attack like this because this lets me hold up Spell Pierce and make it so they have to block End-Raze Forerunner. Because if they don't block End-Raze, I adapt whichever one of these they don't block and then they die. So this puts them to 6. Yep, Spell Pierce might not be enough here. They're the Nexus of Gates deck, so this might not be enough, right? Like they have +4. They're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana here. So we could get comboed here. The fact that they are playing Nexus of Gates also means that I didn't board in my Disdainful Strokes for this game. I'm gonna bring in my Strokes and my Crushing Canopies for the last game. think we're gonna see him combo here. Just be a little bit short and have to go to game 3. Yep. Wilderness Reclamation isn't broken, it's just one of the many powerful things you can be doing in this format. One of the reasons why the standard format is good is because there's such a deep variety of interesting and powerful things you can be doing. And like, a big part of why my opponent's winning this game right now is because we killed them so quickly in the first game, we didn't get to realize what exactly their deck was doing. I'm gonna call this good enough. They're not 100%, but they're close enough that it's bad television, so I'm gonna move on. Alright, so I'm gonna bring these in. These incubations are not good. What are my last cuts here? I need two trims. Do I cut Beast Whisperer? I was gonna say, do I cut Beast Whisperer just so I like I'm just like putting a couple of poopers into play and then like holding counter spells up? Honestly, I wonder if that's worse than just like having the last climb in my deck. This is 26 creatures, that's probably fine. I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go down to one of these and then just like have more climbs and counter spells in my deck. Now, I think the Cowl's pretty important. Yeah, that might even be correct, too. Just, like, slot a Miser or Clancaller in over the last Beast Whisperer, just to be lower to the ground. I don't hate that idea. Chat, stop calling 2-mana creatures slow. Stop it. Especially 2-mana creatures that, like, make the rest of our deck go faster. It's like, that's the inverse of slow. It, like, takes the pedal and, like, pushes it to the floor so you do stuff. This isn't modern. 2-mana accelerators are fine. Look at that! Just have the one Beast Whisperer in our opener. I mean, this hand actually looks pretty good with Beast Whisperer, right? Let's do it. If you're in tournament play, would you scoop early against a deck game 1 if you knew you had a much better sideboard for it? It depends on how long I think it takes for them to win. So, if my opponent's playing a deck that I think takes a long time for them to actually win the game, I'll often wait to concede until they finally killed me. If I think that my deck's aggressive, it doesn't need the time on the clock to win. Yikes. Alright, some creatures, please. Creatures or counterspells, please. Yeah, that too. Yeah, it 100% depends on, like, the win rate of the deck that I'm playing. Like, the rate at which the deck I'm playing can win the game. It depends. There's definitely ebbs and flows. How hungry I am at that current point in time. Definitely a consideration as well. Alright, this is not going to be a game where we can beat a Gates Ablaze. Our hand is just too bad, so we're just going to hope they don't have it. So, there are games where your aggro deck can beat a sweeper, and there are games where it cannot, and it's important that you recognize the difference between the two of them. Like, if they go 4th gate sweeper, I'm going to concede. If they don't have a 4th gate and just have the sweeper, we'll play on, because I have like a 4/4 plus a 5/4. Alright, that is not That's not a fourth gate. Well, there's Reclamation, sure. Here, let's start with, well, I'm attacking for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so that's not really enough. So I guess I'm going to lead on Incubation Druid here and see where we go from there. We're really just looking to draw counter spells so we can, like, disrupt them a little bit. Perfect. The negate might be the game here. They could, some of these decks have, like, fog in them sometimes, so, like, we're not, it's not guaranteed, but we should be pretty close here. They could also, if they have expansion here, if they have an untapped land and they go Gates Ablaze plus expansion, they can counter my negate. Pro tip, Daddy, do it while you watch me. They could Nexus us here. They could also Nexus us with the untapped land of the Wilderness Reclamation. So, like, not out of the woods for that reason either. They were probably just putting a stop on their end step, and they're gonna float 2 and then Nexus, and then, like, untap and Gates Ablaze us again. In fact, Daddy, I'm gonna give you a timeout. This timeout's for your wife. Go do your chores. You can leave the stream on in the background, but the only thing you need your hands for while watching the stream is to type in chat. So if we give you a 10-minute break, you don't have an excuse not to get your dishes done. I'm saving your marriage. I'm timing you out because I care. We tried, chat. A for effort. Gave it the old college best here. Yeah, the Gates Ablaze was for 4. So, I think it needed to happen. They don't have enough card advantage at this point that I'm going to concede, so I'm gonna, like, make them do their thing here for another turn or two. Like, once they, like, an Expansion Explosion or a Guild Summit will probably pack it in. Like, if they generate card advantage and take another turn, I'll call it, but until they, like, put some sort of large card advantage into play, I'm not going to concede. So once they start drawing large amounts of cards, they're incredibly unlikely to brick off. But while they're just, like, effectively just cycling Nexus every turn, they're not really doing anything meaningful. All right, well, there's the City's Blessing for them. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and concede if we see a Nexus of Fate. Means maybe they don't have it. And that's the most important thing about playing against these decks that, like, take a while to play out is, like, you need to recognize, like, when they're incredibly likely to have it and when they're not. So, like, if they cast the Nexus here, all right, so we get to take a turn here and kill them. I don't believe they have a turn on the stack. I believe they are dead. Yeah, sweet. So again, like, you'll be a lot less frustrated playing these things. Like, I know it's annoying, like, sitting here, but, like, being able to recognize, like, how their engine works and what's important to, like, split the games where, like, you're almost certainly dead and, like, can move on with your life versus the games where, like, you still have a probability chance to win. Like, is very important. It's going to increase your win percentage and reduce your frustration. I'm going to go ahead and swap the Disdainful Stroke, the negate split here that I have, because being able to negate Gates of Blaze is really important in that matchup. Let's play one more with this at least. I really like this build. I really like this build. And I'm certainly biased in my like for this build because I really like Simic in general, but counter spells and aggro are sweet. How many sub gifts to get a deck played next? 10 sub gifts would cut you in, Dr. Leppy. Wait, let me double check. Hold on, I'm pretty sure it's 10. I don't think I have a backup. You know what? I think I'm actually backed up today because it's my donation queue not open. Yeah, I'm backed up through Rakdos aggro. So the next 2 decks have a lot of points in them. So if you wanted to be immediately next, it would be 20 subs donated. If you wanted to be played where green-red ramp is, so 2 decks from now, it would be 10 subs donated. So after today and tomorrow, hopefully we will no longer be backed up. Hey, Zerblin, thank you very much for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Nurturer sounds good. I do not really play EDH. Pretty much just play a lot of standard these days. Like, all the Magic I play these days is on stream. Vomit. Woof. Well, that was like a worst case scenario. Yikes. Yeah, looks like they're playing Jund Whirler, this is probably a rancid matchup for us, if I had to venture a guess. I have no idea what our record is. I don't really care what my record is with decks while I play, so I don't really track it. The fact that there's 2 Cinder Barons makes me think it's the Jund Whirler deck. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I think this is probably an Incongruity the Phoenix turn. Just go to mtgotraders.com and fill your shopping cart. You just go to Hoagland PayPal to get 8% off your order. The MTGO economy is super fluid, and all the big websites like MTGO Traders are very competitive in pricing. We're not beating the combo this game, so if they have Whirly Boy plus a thing, we're just gonna die. No real reason to attack here. Does their website still exist, Marty? Wow, it does. That's funny. It takes forever to load like it always did, but it does still exist. Alright, we're actually looking for End-Raze Forerunners at this point, right? Okay, well, we said we're looking for a pig. Let's dig deep. Yikes. The bird has us dead in 3. We're looking to dodge dragons and other phoenixes here. Dr. Leppy doling out the pile of sub-gifties. You crazy. Thank you for the absurd support. Let me know what you would like to see next. Let's get that hair pink. Well, the hair is guaranteed pink by the end of the month. It's the beard we're working for, right? Four-color gates, definitely. Look at that. A fan favorite at that. A true Twitch chatter of the people. Fortunately, can't play that. I still don't really have good attacks, right? I guess I could attack with both of these, and like they eat one and then block the other. Then maybe I alpha next turn. So I just don't really have good attacks. They have a dragon, we're dead here. Dead to a shock here as well. So we have Incongruity the Phoenix. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should have just Incongruity the Phoenix. I agree. That was stupid and greedy of me. Gosh, we're so close to leafling them in the air too. Oh, I guess I could do this and I'm not dead on board now, right? So I could do this and then I can block with this. No. Oh. I definitely should have just Incongruity the bird. I was so focused on getting the pig that when I drew that card, I was like, oh, this gets a pig possibly. But I didn't stop and think, oh, wait, I actually need to not do that. They do play, we played a build yesterday that had 2 copies of Shock in it. Why do the Unclaimed Territories feel bad? What about the territories feel bad? I mean, they're not any worse than any other land would be here. Hey, Johnny, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Played the Gatesmere last night and decked my opponent in game 3. My win was a no small part to the opponent not having auto stacked turned off. Gross. And I gotta turn off auto stack triggers. I think they're trying to figure out what climb does and if they still have good attacks. A third pig might be worthwhile, honestly. I wasn't sure how many pigs I wanted necessarily. We're kind of ahead now, right? If they don't have lethal this turn, I think we're good when we untap. No, I agree. I think I was ahead without the pig if I take the Phoenix out of play, so exiling the Phoenix was definitely the more conservative play. So we activate climb here on this. That's an 8/8. If they have Lava Coil, we're dead to... You know what? By saving this, I'm dead to Lava Coil. I'm exactly dead to Lava Coil. God, their last card is Lava Coil. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. What a power move, Levity. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate it. You need to concede. Don't tell me how to live my life. Listen, chat, don't judge my opponent, okay? As someone who misses lethal on this channel more than anybody else, I've been where my opponent was just at, okay? Go easy on them. So something that came up earlier, someone commenting on the Unclaimed Territories. Unclaimed Territory lets Incubation Druid make blue mana, which is nice. Yeah, right? Like you get tunnel vision on like how do I beat the board, and then like they're like, oh wait, they're actually just dead. And I had lethal as is, chat. I attacked and it was lethal. Alright, I think I trimmed Clancaller and Nurturer against these removal heavy decks. Spell Pierce seems good here. Vivian Reed seems okay. I wonder if this is a Frilled Mystic matchup. This is probably a Hydroid Crisis matchup, huh? Generate some card advantage at the top end. Gain a little bit of life back. What do we think of this? I don't know if I want Negate. It's kind of hard to hold up. Like, they don't have that many sweepers, and their sweeper is 6 mana, so, like, Spell Pierce is fine there. I did not have lethal the turn before. The turn before, I would have to activate one of the climbs before I declare attackers, and then by doing that, they just block whichever one I've already climbed. I don't know if Frilled Mystic's good enough here. I think he's a little bit too clunky. I think I'm going to submit like this. Nah, I think cards like Shaper Sanctuary are generally a trap. The Quinner with the brand new Prime support, welcome, welcome. Start shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month to keeping me employed. I think you would rather just have cards like Vivian Reed that help you catch back up, rather than cards like Shaper Sanctuary that require you to have them early. So like, if you draw a Shaper Sanctuary after they've already killed your board, it's useless, right? Whereas if you draw Vivian Reed after they've already killed your board, you're like, all right, now I generate card advantage. Zeke can't have a shield without a sword. Welcome to the Knights. Knights of the Round Table. Steel Leaf Champion's been really good in this build too. Just like having a powerful 3-drop to play after they kill my 2-drop is really good. I'm still catching up from all the people that jump started their shields. Well, I appreciate that, Zeke. This is a 2-for-1, right? Like, I'm okay with that. Like, the Rix Maddie drew, discarded and drew, but that's just, like, selection. So, then they spent a Rix Maddie and a statue to, like, kill my things there, which is fine for me. Hey, Death Shadow. Thank you for the very generous tier 2 sub. I appreciate that. Holy crap, we're platinum tier 2, chat. We're platinum tier 2, and we're about to play 4 color gates, which is another good deck. Could we maybe get to diamond today? That would be exciting. We've been like rubber banding in between like plat 4 and plat 2. Some of our decks aren't very good here. I'm gonna replace the Elves deck. I'm gonna replace the Elves deck on my website with this one. I was really happy with this configuration, and like I don't remember the username of the person that suggested trying a climb build in Elves, but this was the most trim or competitive build of Elves I've definitely played this season or last. I was just about to say, I don't think I'd make any changes. There's a small chance that maybe we want like another End-Raze Forerunner. There's also, and this is something I would have to play games with to try. There is a chance that Elvish Clancaller's not good enough in this deck, and we just want like that slot could be Thornleaf Lieutenant. Just like increase the average card quality a little bit. So like this is like a good synergy card, but like with End-Raze Forerunner to go over the top of the curve anyways, it might be that I just want a higher average card quality and like play Thorn Lieutenant in there. Thorn Lieutenant, Thornleaf, whatever it's called. So yeah, I think that's something I'd be interested in trying, but I'm not confident that it would be a good change. So I'm probably not going to try it until we play the deck again. But something close to this, I think, is very reasonable. I'm okay at Magic, Kessems. Honestly, I will probably hit Mythic at some point, just like playing viewer decks, just because like I play so much, right? I mean, this deck is vulnerable to sweepers, but that's why you have counterspells in your sideboard and like things like Vivian Increases to build back up. All right, what are we doing? Moving along. Four color gates is up deck. Very generous.